Aviation, the Chairman, House Committee on Aviation here represented, and then permit me to adopt the protocols already established here. I am glad to be here this morning. This meeting here was one of my first objectives when I resumed office. I told the bureaucrats that as soon as possible, as early as possible, I would love to meet all the stakeholders in the aviation industry. The reason is simply that it's important to have all the inputs from all stakeholders before we set sail. As a trained lawyer, we are told to hear all sides of the story before making a decision. So it's my background as a lawyer that informed this. I said, let me hear the other side of the story. Let me not hear from these people alone. These people in the barracks, they only tell one-sided stories. So that's my response to him, my permanent secretary. They say politicians come and go. He's talking to all of us here 2 weeks. But they have remained in the barracks since. Have they treated you well? No. So we are here to rescue you. Be sure we are here to rescue you from the hands of these barrack boys, the bureaucrats. So it gives me great pleasure to hold a meeting of this kind with stakeholders in the aviation industry. As you are aware, the aviation industry is dynamic in nature and very strategic to the development of our great nation. You will recall that following my appointment by Mr. President, President Hon.Minister, I had gone on inspection of the Nigerian airports, that is Lagos and Abuja, and I will do the other rounds very soon. I also set up a task force for the relocation of foreign airlines from the old international terminal to the new terminal following the state of disrepair of the old terminal, which does not speak well about Nigeria as a people. The task force has since submitted their reports. We are looking at their recommendations for possible action. We will overhaul this terminal to further boost the revenue drive of our airports. I equally formally received the land for the construction of the second runway of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, from the Jiwa community. This is a historic event and dream come true, which Nigerians have looked up to for the past 2 decades. We can be rest assured that the benefits of the second runway will provide substantial economic advantage to the nation. I've also received briefs from some of the agencies under the ministry and the unions in the aviation industry. I'm taking note of the concerns raised. After these engagements, we shall have a management retreat where we will fully distill your inputs as stakeholders to move the aviation industry forward. In fact, we have set that retreat starting from Wednesday. We will arrive Warri on Wednesday and we'll be in Warri till Sunday, all of us. And we're going to put on the table all of these suggestions we'll receive, all the suggestions we have received and the ones we receive here. We are all going to sit down in Warri and distill all of them and then forge a path for the future. As you are aware, Mr. President has unveiled his economic plan. The 3-year economic revival plan that emerged from his inaugural Federal Executive Council meeting is anchored in an 8-point focus area targeted at addressing Nigeria's socio-economic challenges. It seeks to move away from the frenzied borrowing of the last government, check the unacceptably high job rates, achieve economic growth, prosperity for all, and end poverty. This, we as an industry will factor into our focus areas for the development of the industry and in turn the economic development of our nation. We ended our retreat. I'm sure you saw it in the media. We had a 3-day retreat with Mr. President, all the ministers, and at the end of the day, we signed a performance bond. I also signed my performance bond yesterday. So, if you don't want to get sacked, in the next few months, you need to support me. On this side, it's either I get sacked or they get sacked. So it's a race to who will survive. That is what I told all my CEOs. Somebody will die first. But before I die, I'll take you down. As simple as that. So that is where we find ourselves today. In Warri, all of us wear the same trouser. That's where we are. And it was very significant after the 3-day retreat. Mr. President actually made us focus very much on our KPIs, and I'm sure you all know what I have seen set up our KPI. I'm surprised we didn't incorporate it in this speech. We should have incorporated it in this speech. And of course, you have seen it everywhere. But wherever we are wrong or where we have left out, let us know. We are open for advice. But the first thing we identified, when I came to office, took me just 1-2 weeks to identify the areas we will focus on. One, of course, is to enforce regulatory standards, that is safety within the industry, which is number one, to ensure that those standards are strictly enforced. That's first KPI. The second one is to ensure that we improve infrastructure, not only the physical buildings and terminals and all that, but also equipment, in terms of especially the NAMA equipment that we think are still short of international standards. The third, of course, would be to encourage, support our local industry. I'm taking that as a focus area. I don't think any minister in the past has done so, but I think that's important that we take it as our focus area, support the growth and the sustenance of our local operators, their businesses. Over the biggest casualty in the business world has been the aviation industry. In the last 20-25 years, more than 100 airlines have folded up. And so we're asking ourselves, why did they fold up? Why? Why can't we support them? Airline business, to my mind, what I've seen so far, is just passion. It's passion. It's more social service than huge profits. Many of them, they operate on very thin margins, but they are providing a very important economic and social service to the country. So we need to support them. That's my own idea. The fourth one would be also to develop human capacity within the industry. And then the fifth and the last one would be to, of course, optimize our revenue capacity. So those are the 5 focus areas. If you think there are areas we have left out, let us know. But I think any other thing you say can fall within these 5 areas. And those are the areas we're concentrating on. So the purpose of this stakeholders meeting, therefore, is to receive inputs from you as technocrats and players in the industry. Your input will add value to the roadmap focus area that the industry will prioritize to make our aviation sector world-class and meet the aspirations of Nigerians and all aviation stakeholders. We should desist from blame game and focus on solving the problems in the industry. So I want this meeting to be as interactive as possible. We are not going to stay here and behave as if we are reading cool speeches to the nation. We are not going to read cool speeches today. Just say and then leave. Let us interact, let us argue, let us rub minds. But after we leave here, after some days, we'll start rolling out policies and all that as reflective of what you have told us. That's what we want to do. Thank you and God bless you.
Excellent. Hon.Minister, please. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen,